Welcome back. This election season, it seems that everyone is weighing in on the wild presidential race, including rock stars.
On her quest to give you a backstage pass into the lives of the rock world's biggest artists, Juliet Huddy is back now with a look inside the political minds of some of these rockers. Juliet, this is so cool.
Yeah, it is cool, actually. I'm repeatedly struck at the depth, lyrically speaking, of a lot of these metal and rock stars. There is a massive chasm between contemporary artists and their teased hair, makeup-wearing brethren of days gone by. In fact, these days the only poison is when they put pen to paper, spewing vitriol and passion over world events and issues. Take a look. Like his brothers in other bands, All That Remains frontman Phil Labonte is more political pundit than rock and roll playboy. He's a loud and proud and oftentimes controversial libertarian who strikes me as a guy more likely to read the Washington Times than Rolling Stone.
When you're constantly in a world that tends to be very liberal and left-leaning, if you're going to argue a contrary point, you better know what you're talking about, because you'll lose, and losing sucks. But my opinions are my own. They're not anyone else's. They're not the band's.
And when it comes to the Trump-Clinton showdown, true to form, Labonte shows no hesitation in taking out the verbal talents.
I really like the fact that Donald Trump is so bombastic and really changing what's acceptable to say. I think Hillary Clinton is terrible and she should be in jail.
Labonte follows in the giant footsteps of another rock controvertist, Megadeth's legendary frontman Dave Mustaine, who, along with guitarist Dave Ellefson, revels in his rep as thrash metal's trasher of all things PC.
To me, it's punk rock, man, when they come out and they say something that everybody wanted to say. I've stood next to him for a lot of years now, 3 decades. He said a lot of stuff that people go, oh my God, I can't believe he said it.
If Trump does become president, as much as he's got people who are really knowledgeable, I mean, really respectable people in my eyes, endorsing him, if it sucks, remember Article 25. Watch, it'll be 26 or something stupid.
Trailblazing UK band Enter Shikari fuses the sounds of punk, metal, and electronica with politically provocative lyrics. Lead singer Rao Reynolds' raging screams and biting words skewer everything from xenophobia to national health care. In essence, a musical call to action.
A lot of it was just growing up in sort of a hardcore punk scene. And I say like true punk in the fact that it had something to say. Because a lot of punk nowadays is just pop music with noisy guitars. Like it doesn't really have like the headspace that punk had.
The Brits wrapped up their US tour just as primary season began heating up, and it's fair to say I don't think he's a Trump fan.
Growing up in Britain, it's a very strange man. He strikes me as just a kind of childish bully. I think people know that America is a wonderful place, that at its heart, you know, what it's about is accepting people, and it's a unified country with an amazing history.
America, drink the water. Romanian rocker Uliana Priotu arrived in New York City broke and barely speaking English. 10 years later, her band Silver shares stages with some of the world's biggest bands. She lives and sings about the American dream in her song I'm America, an anthem, she says, for unification.
You're going to have your father or grandparents or someone who left everything and did not look back. So you and I can freely sit here, give an interview, and talk about whatever we want without having fears of any kind.
I love her, by the way. She has such a great story, and hopefully I will be bringing it to you in the near days. But I keep on saying this. A lot of these hard rock and metal artists, you know, their music might not be appealing to you, but when you really start to peel off the layers, they're fascinating people, very, very bright people, and good people, too. It's not like they're all a bunch of, you know, druggies and partiers. I mean, they have many, many levels.
That's not a side we see or hear about a lot.
Right.
So really cool story.
So I think sometimes when you hear a little bit more about the people themselves, it actually makes their music more appealing. At least that's what I'm hoping.
Juliet, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Thank you. All right.
Still to come.